FTC to issue its decision soon on the proposed sale of the BNTCL. Our top story in the Barbados Today evening news for Thursday, November 16. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. The Fair Trading Commission says it is in the final stages of reviewing the application for the proposed acquisition of the Barbados National Terminal Company Limited by the Sol Group. Last week, Finance Minister Chris Sinclair expressed frustration with the FTC process and accused the Commission of stalling on issuing a decision on the proposed $100 million sale. A statement from the FTC issued this afternoon said it is continuing an analysis of the substantive information which was submitted by the applicants and interested third parties. The FTC added that at various stages of the investigation, parties requested extensions of varying lengths in order to submit additional information, and the Commission granted those requests. It also says that on October 27, the Commission heard further submissions from Sol and another party at an in-camera oral hearing that had been requested under Section 26(2) of the Fair Trading Commission Act. The Commission says it will issue its final decision on the matter after its scheduled meeting on November 23rd. The matter is also before the law courts after Rubis challenged the sale. In other news this evening, the stage is set for the opening of the Food and Rum Festival this evening. The 8th edition of the event begins with the Oistins Bay Gardens cook-off. The program also includes Friday's Taste of the Exotic at the Concord Experience and Taste the Spirit of Polo in St. James on Saturday. Local band Spice & Company is scheduled to perform at the Concord tomorrow night, and member Alan Shepard says the festival is helping to boost the island's tourism product.
It's a good way to kick off winter 2017. At this time, there are a lot of visitors already arriving to Barbados. Barbados is popping and happening. And this is a really good way to start off the season. So we're going to blow our guns, blaze our guns, do the conga line, and all the favorites up at the airport. And we hope to have a really good time.
Several restaurants are participating in the festival, including the Cliff Beach Club. Executive General Manager Peter Harris told Barbados Today that he too is looking forward to this year's festival. But he says while the figures for this year's winter season is encouraging, the service industry is experiencing its share of challenges.
All in all, we saw a vast drop in numbers compared to previous years. Put it better, bums and seats, or as the hotels would say, bums and beds. And you know, it's had its effect, yes. Which, you know, it's your staffing levels. You know, that's the first thing everybody would cut back on, and which is what something you don't want to do, you know, because everybody has to earn a living. You have families to support. We try not to lay staff off. We just cut back on the amount of days they work or the amount of hours, so that everybody gets a piece of the pie, as so to speak. But you know, saying all of that, there's a little light at the end of the tunnel, which is the winter season, and the winter season for us is looking absolutely brilliant.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Indulge your every craving at this year's Barbados Food and Rum Festival, November 16th to 19th. Thursday, the festival kicks off at Oistins. Friday, the Barbados Concord Experience, 8 chefs, 6 mixologists and the energetic Spice & Company. Saturday, Taste the Spirits of Polo featuring Chef Jason Howard. This would not be Barbados without a beach party. Sunday, enjoy an impressive lineup of Barbadian entertainers at the Hilton for Feet in the Sand. And the weekend would not be complete without the Gourmet Safari Dinner Series at the Cliff, the Crane and the Tides. Remember, November 16th to 19th. Get your tickets at TicketPal box offices today.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit today told the Climate Change Conference in Bonn, Germany, that not enough is being done to ensure the world effectively mitigates global warming. Skerrit is attending the conference 2 months after the Category 5 Hurricane Maria decimated his island. He told delegates that an assessment from the World Bank Group and other international agencies shows that 90% of buildings were either damaged or destroyed, and over 22% of the island's gross domestic product was wiped out. The agriculture, tourism and housing sectors also sustained severe damage, and the forests were decimated. Over in Guyana, there are reports of an increase in cases of sexual abuse and domestic violence, but officials say victims are reluctant to come forward. We get the details in this report from HGP Nightly News.
Justice delayed is justice denied, and the sloth in which sexual and even domestic violence cases are tried in the courts here in Guyana has also caused victims to be apprehensive. Persons are afraid of reporting such matters for various reasons, says Chancellor of the Judiciary, Yonet Cummings Edwards. But the reports should be made.
They're afraid of testifying in court, and this fear makes them very reluctant to come forward. And those who are brave and they wish to come forward are sometimes re-victimized or traumatized in the process. So victims and witnesses who are seeking the protection of the law or seeking redress for wrongdoings end up being punished twice, as it were.
Of the 215 cases listed for the October session of the Demerara Assizes, 134 of those cases are for sex-related offenses such as rape, carnal knowledge of minors, and sexual activity with a child family member. A high percentage of those cases are protracted, listed for several sessions of the Assizes according to information provided by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The Chancellor noted that the judicial system, with the implementation of these guidelines, will ensure more is done for victims. Meanwhile, Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali stated that her ministry has made significant strides towards implementation of a responsive mechanism that seeks to hold several categories of practitioners and professionals accountable.
And finally, on the international scene, Zimbabwe's President Robert Mugabe was pictured shaking hands with the country's military chief a day after the army seized power. The images led to some confusion over predictions that Mugabe's nearly four-decade rule had ended. He drove from his lavish compound in the capital Harare, where he was said to be under house arrest, to the State House, where local media pictured him meeting the army chief and South African ministers who were sent to mediate the crisis. However, the official Herald newspaper did not report on the outcome of those talks. We get more in this Reuters report.
The headlines give hope. The man many see as a tyrant ousted. After a bloodless coup, a new dawn may beckon.
We are in need of transitional arrangement that should attend to key issues of economic recovery and electoral reform processes.
The talk is brave given the challenges. With a new leadership may come new deals with foreign investors and creditors, though for now dire poverty is the local reality and hyperinflation that's driven many into Bitcoin and other assets. And as for its currency, there's the Zola, an electronic dollar used in bank accounts amid a scarcity of the real thing, which became legal tender in 2009.
That has not really solved many of the issues that the Zimbabwean economy still faces. Top of that list, of course, is corruption.
Stocks, though, are booming. Zimbabwe's industrial index up by 264% this year. MSCI's country index 420%. But don't, warn analysts, be deceived. Shares are rocketing as, again, local investors look for an alternative to uncertainty.
It's very difficult to see that a military coup is really going to change the economy in any meaningful way. And how do you get what was once the breadbasket of Africa functioning again?
And that's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good evening.